Hello world. I had a pretty extensive day today. I had like 3 photo shoots. Logistical install from beginning to end. I started at about 11 o'clock. It's about 7 o'clock. And I made some pretty good money today. Money needs me. Money wants me. Money loves me. It's one of the mantras that Lisa and I share out about. Money needs me. Money wants me. Money is chasing me. I got a concept that I need to share out with you guys. And you can comment or you can, talk back to me tonight or later on when you see this live. Would you hire or fire yourself? Would you hire or fire yourself? Now, it's evaluation time. Any of you that have worked on a job, like me, I've worked in the education field quite a bit, and we used to have evaluations. We would have quarterly evaluations, we would have yearly evaluations, and that's when an administrator or a faculty member would come in and observe you while you were teaching and interacting with the students. A lot of times you would get like 2 where they tell you they coming, and you may get something like 1 when you don't know they coming. And what they're looking for things that are somewhat easy, but not so easy to evaluate you on. I wanted to say judge, but judge just didn't sit right in my mind. And because that's what they're doing. They're judging whether you are appropriately facilitating in your class the way that they feel you should. Now, don't get it twisted. A lot of the time, what they have on the paper, you're doing it. What they have on the paper and evaluating from, you're doing it, unless there's something that I call life is happening. Like if you're supposed to be teaching and one of your kids throw up in the middle of you teaching. So you have to stop what you're doing and balance that out. And if you got an assistant, or maybe even speak to the teacher next door, or maybe even they may just say, I'll come back and evaluate you later, because that's what happens when they're not there. If you're dealing with younger kids or whatever, But a lot of times when they are evaluating you, you can bet your bottom dollar that your personality comes into play, that your character comes into play. The way you carry yourself, the way you handle yourself comes into play when they are evaluating you to see if you're doing your job. Now, people like me, and Lisa and I, we and a few other people where we know, we are CEOs of our life. We do the hiring and we do the firing around here. And what I mean by firing is I have cut out things that are not benefiting my well-being, the wealth, increase, advancement, and prosperity of my family and I. My peace is not sacrificial. I am the CEO of my life, and I evaluate myself daily because I write down in my personal success plan in my journal daily what I desire to transpire in my life. So each day I hire me to do what only I can do. And that's to complete my wish list. That's to complete what I set my mind to accomplish while in this earth. Will you hire or will you fire yourself? Because when you're dealing with someone else, on someone else's job, on someone else's clock, a lot of times they get personal. Yeah. I can tell you a story of when I first moved to Atlanta and I was teaching. And this principal had a way of literally treating the teachers foul. Yeah. She treated us like we were some underlings, like we were so smart enough to be teachers, but dumb in everything that we did. Yeah, man. She walked around, and sometimes, boy, she would walk around like all hell was about to break loose, and she would be looking for hell to break loose. Any little thing she could find wrong on certain days. Some days you didn't see her, and some days you already knew from the atmosphere at the school that morning that somebody was going to catch it, because this woman would bring the lions, the tigers, the bears, oh my, to school with her. She had been at the school for a certain amount of years. She felt like couldn't nobody tell her nothing. She felt like that she had it all together, and she felt like that if she wanted to pick on you, she was going to pick on you. I'm talking to somebody right now. Oh, we need black men in the classroom. Oh, we need black men here. We need black men in the school. Oh, and this wasn't even a black-white issue. They was just saying that our younger kids that are African-American needed to see role models, not just a lot of women teaching. And I bought into it. So I'm going to be a teacher. K through 8 certified. Oh my God. This before I even had my master. This is way back when I was a greenling in teaching. But I had the passion and I had the energy to teach. I had the passion to teach. And I did quite well. I did so well that they literally gave me all the third graders that gave issues to the second grade teachers because they wanted me to mold them and discipline them and be animated and engaging like I was the year before. Impeccable evaluations. Impeccable. My evaluations were all impeccable. Until one day, this principal's walking down the hall. I had already got the cue card. What was the cue card? Oh, the teachers on my team, they would get one of the students to bring each teacher on our team a pair of scissors. And that was the cue that the principal was cutting up today. I know I'm helping somebody right now. Did you hear what I said? I said that my team, a bunch of grown-ups, we had a password, we had a passcode, we had a token to let everybody know that the principal was having a bad day. They would get the teachers and say, Miss Brown say, Mr. Foster, Miss Brown say, here go your scissors. Take these scissors to Mr. Foster. Take these scissors to Miss Taylor. Take these scissors to Mr. Humphrey. Take these scissors to Coach Washington. And whenever one of them students brought you a pair of scissors, you knew that the principal was cutting up and that all hell had broke loose in the school and she was coming your way. So even if you were doing a great job, even if you had impeccable evaluations like me, he was about to get it. He was about to get it. So I never forget the morning that I walked to my door because one of my students had left, and he used to get lost sometimes, and it was around that time for him to get back. Said, Miss Foster, can I run to the bathroom quick before the bell rung? The bell had rung. He was not there. I literally looked out the door. I can remember that I literally had, I'm just going to be real with you. I had my toothbrush in my hand because when you're a teacher, you know, you got toothbrush, you got toothpaste, you got deodorant, you got all that stuff at school. So right before the kids had came into the room, I had brushed my teeth. and I left my toothbrush on like the table. And so when I went to the door, I picked the toothbrush up in my hand because I was going to put it back in my little bag. And I looked out the door with the toothbrush in my hand. And I guess she saw the toothbrush or whatever from down the hall. And she said, Mr. Foster, what are you doing? I said, I was looking for one of my students. She said, well, why are you looking for him in the hall? I said, because he went to the restroom. Common procedure. Common procedure. So the young man came down the classroom. He was smiling. I said, there he is. You know, he was smiling. He was looking at me. Miss Fox, you thought I wasn't coming? It was a cool day. All of a sudden, 6, 7 minutes later, 8 minutes later, tops, she walks in my room. She goes over and she looks in my cabinets. She looks on my shelves. She sits down and she stares at me like this. Now, a normal evaluation don't last no more than 5 to 10 minutes unless they're doing a full lesson plan with you or something to see if you have grasped the concept of the teaching styles or materials, a new book, a new way that we're doing reading, a new way we're doing groups. So 5-10 minutes tops for an evaluation. That woman sat there every bit of 20 minutes and just stared at me. She didn't have an evaluation pad. She didn't have nothing. She just looked at me. Okay? And so my kids were getting ready to go to the restroom break, you know, the class as a class. And she said, well, Mr. Foster, I just want to say to you, you ain't got no business stepping out in the hall and with a toothbrush in your hand of all things, this, and the third, and da-da-da, whatever. And the kids looking at me, and these kids like third grade, they looking at her like, Mr. Foster, you want me to get her? You want me to get her, Mr. Foster? I'm like, I'm laughing because the kids love me, and I love them, and they watching out for me. Now, this is back in the 90s now. This wasn't recently, so the statute of limitations is up. Long story short, she snapped on me in front of the kids. And I felt some type of way because you're giving me, first of all, the kids that everybody else have a problem handling, and now you want them to respect authority, and now you're disrespecting the authority that they learning to respect, or they learning respect from. And so I literally waited till my break. I went down the hall, and I knocked on the door. I said, can I speak to you for a minute? She said, yes, can I help you? Hurry up, I got work to do. I said, well, look, I just want to say to you, I feel like it was very rude and disrespectful the way you came down to my room and stared at me for 20 minutes and then waited till my kids was going to the restroom break and went off on me in front of them because I had picked the toothbrush up off the table from when I brushed my teeth early, and I'm looking out for a student. And if I was wrong, all I can do is say I apologize as a teacher. But I feel like the way that you did it, it wasn't proper. And she was like, do you know who you're talking to? I said, yes, I'm talking to principal such and such, right? And she said, I could have your job like that. I said, I appreciate you listening to me. I don't know if you heard me, but I appreciate you listening to me. I'm gonna get back to my room and prepare for my class. All of a sudden, 3 times in 1 week, I'm evaluated. 3 times in 1 week, I'm evaluated. 3 times. You don't get evaluation in 3 times in 3 days. My evaluations come back with all type of red marks on them. I ain't doing this right. I ain't doing that right. I ain't doing this right. I ain't doing that right. Now, I forgot to tell you guys that our superintendent had came to the school a couple of weeks before this incident with me looking out into the hallway with the toothbrush in my hand, right? And hell, I seen teachers with hair rollers in their hair and whatever, you know, all kind of stuff, you know. So I'm like, whatever. At the end of the day, the superintendent and her were in the hallway, and I had this thing with my class where I said one time, I should only mention one time that you should get in line, that you should stop talking, that you should be on task at your desk. If I say it one time, that means the whole class should get on task and remember what they was doing. So I had this thing that if they did it, and it didn't take me 3 times to say one time. If I said it twice, that's cool because maybe you didn't hear me the first time. But if I said it, these were the mechanisms and methods and strategies that I use to motivate my kids, right? We had to name the third grade brigade, which was a small army, right? And so I taught them how to left face, right face. I taught them how to stand at attention. And I would say one time. If I said 2 times, they look and say, get it. Because they knew if they got that 3rd time, they couldn't get the ice cream party on Friday. Right? So, my class is standing outside the lunchroom. Right? I'm getting the ice cream for them because it's Friday. So they had double attention. I walk out from getting the ice cream from the ice cream lady. They standing there. And the guy said, well, whose class is this? To the principal. And she said, oh, that's Mr. Foster's class. He's one of our best teachers. This happened 2 weeks now before she done came in my room and snapped on me about looking out in the hall after the bell had rung instead of preparing to teach my kids. But I knew that one wasn't there, so I was trying to see if he was going to make it back because he said it would be back for the bell. He was coming right after the bell. And so, long story short, she done told the superintendent that I'm one of her best teachers. And then 2 weeks later, within a week, I got 3 negative reports on me. Not because I wasn't doing my job, but because my evaluator took it personal. Because I mentioned to her that I felt like the politics and protocol were way off with how she came and addressed me in front of the students. Now, she was right. She could have my job like that. But my job didn't go so easy. I went and talked to who I needed to talk to. I made some calls because I've always had community ties. And I had the NAACP as well as the superintendent called in on a meeting. And she chalked me up to be one of the worst teachers at the school and that she'd been trying to give me a chance to get it together. And so I simply said to them, and to be honest with you, I'm telling y'all guys, real personal story. I was so dismayed. I was so disappointed in this principal because I felt like she was a tough person, but I felt like it made the school, proudful, and it's like she was a coach at times. But when she did what she did, I didn't lose respect for her, but I really felt like, not sorry for her, but I felt bad because, see, I didn't know about hiring and firing myself then. They had told me, go to school, get married, have kids, get a good job, everything gonna be okay. And I believed them. And so I was following the cookie cutter approach that they gave us for life. And so it was really disappointing as a new teacher to go through that. And so I looked up, like, while she was telling all these untruths about me and my character and my teaching ability. And so she said, just like now, he looking all up on the wall like he want to fight me. And I said, hold on. I say, stop. I say, excuse me. And the superintendent say, let him talk, right? And the NAACP said, I want to hear what Mr. Foster got to say. Shout out John Evans, NAACP. I think he passed a couple of years ago. DeKalb County, NAACP, John Evans. Shout out, I love you, man. He was a great mentor to me, a great friend. And so I said, how can I be looking up at the wall and looking like I want to fight her at the same time? I say, this is what I'm talking about. I say, Mr. Superintendent, I called his name. I'm not saying these people's names personally. I say, do you remember about 3 or 4 weeks ago, you were here at this school and there was a group of kids lined up and you asked as I came out with ice cream for them because they had a great week, and whose class is this? He said, yes. He said, that was you. I said, that was me. So tell me how I went from being one of the best teachers that she got on staff to one of the worst teachers, to where it's not even standard practice for these evaluations that she's sharing with you right now, where one happened on a Monday, one happened on a Wednesday, one happened on a Friday. Is that standard practice for you to evaluate somebody 3 times in 1 week? Is it standard practice for you to write on evaluation with markers and faces and sad faces and all that? I say, this is personal. And it's personal because she came in my class and she attacked me in front of my students because she didn't understand why I was looking for a student that's doing so much better because of the different ways that I addressed them in my class. And the fact that I let him go to the restroom because he said, Mr. Foster, you got to give me a chance now. You got to trust me, Mr. Foster. You got to let me go to the bathroom. This is a 3rd grader. I say, okay, you better come back. If you don't come back next time, boy, I promise you, man, you got to hold it all day. Class started laughing, he went out, whatever, this, that, and third. What's the moral of my story? The moral of my story is that when you're working for somebody else, they can have a bad day, and it can spill over into your day, and it can spill over into your career. But when you say yes to yourself, and when you become the CEO of your life, can't nobody hire or fire you but you. Are you getting up? Are you doing what you need to do to get your business together? Are you dotting your I's and crossing your T's? Are you connecting the dots? Are you putting the jigsaw pieces of the puzzle together? And I'm very excited because for the last 3 to 6 months, Lisa and I have been working on some things. And we literally was putting some things together. And we literally had an opportunity to speak to some people that are in positions that can open up some huge contracts for us. We got people coming next week to assist us in some of these situations that we have because the workload has gotten mighty. And therefore, we subcontracting, we're partnering, we're working with several people on certain projects. And this is what I'm telling them all. You're not an employee, you're a partner. If you don't see what we're doing, and if you don't see the beauty of the opportunity that you have to make more money part-time than you probably can make full-time on any job that you ever worked before, don't come. Don't even start working for us. We don't need you. Because this is putting you in position to make as much money as you want to make. But you got to show up. You got to enjoy the work that you're doing. And you got to know that this is you still being an individual. You're working with me. You're not working for me. And when I say that, they are the CEO of their life. They the CEO of their life. Whether they get up every day. If I tell them, you got 5 different projects over here. This pays this, this pays this, this pays that. If on an average you got 5 projects to do, and you make X amount of dollars, if we pay you $125 for that project, it may take you 2 hours. If we pay you $95 for this project, it may take you 1 hour. If we pay you this for that, that for that, that adds up. If you do those 5 projects in 3 days, you done made $500-$600, and you can be off for the rest of the week. You do that every week, you're making $2 or $3 grand a month. You know, as a young person, that ain't bad, especially if you're doing it's part-time. I don't know too many other jobs you can make like $2,000, $2,500 for just working a couple of hours a day. Yeah. Would you hire or would you fire yourself? The end of the story that I was telling you, the NAACP guy, as well as the superintendent, advised the principal to back up, to back off. They read some of my evaluations before the ones that she so graciously provided them with the negative marks. And they asked her, how can he go from this to this unless it's centered around this situation that he's sharing with us? They asked me to leave and they had a meeting with her. The NAACP guy told me, you shouldn't worry about her anymore. You can transfer if you want to transfer, or you can stay here and stick it out. And I transferred. And I had a great year at the next school I went to, because I'm the CEO of my life, and I would hire me every day. Matter of fact, each and every day I wake up, I hire myself all over again. I'm proud to work for myself. I'm proud to evaluate myself every day. I'm proud to get on my own A to the double SS if I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do. I'm happy with the work that I do. I love the work that I do. I'm happy with the amount of money that's seeking me out and finding me, because I am the CEO of my own life. And I would hire myself every day like I do right now. Every day. There's something on the inside of you. There's several things on the inside of you that you can hire yourself right now and generate more money than you ever thought was possible if you just See it, feel it, and know it. Not believe, know it. I encourage you, tap and tune into that. All right? Thank you for riding with me on my way home. I'm finna get my things out the trunk, get my car to the valet. Me and the wife gonna make it a Coming to America 2 Netflix night or whatever it's on tonight. I don't know. She said it's on some app. I don't know. But I know I got good food, good drink, and a beautiful view waiting on me. All right? Believe in yourself like nobody else can. Do for yourself what nobody else can. Hire yourself today, and your life will change forever. Much love.